Hello, Timberline. When Marlon asked me to share what God has been doing during this crisis time, I found it very easy to count my blessings. Although I'm a teacher who stands in front of classes full of children normally, I'm truly an introvert at heart, and I'm actually loving being isolated for many reasons. First of all, I get to sleep in. I can wear t-shirts and jeans, comfy clothes, non-teacher clothes. I'm loving that my family is together more than usual and that I'm actually making dinners, which I wasn't doing for a while. I'm loving Zoom, that I can connect with kids at school and the staff at school, my family and my friends, all through technology and not have to leave the comfort of my own home. I'm even working out, doing Zumba classes on Zoom. So also our Dayspring staff meets every day to pray through Zoom, and it has actually brought us closer together and unified us more as a team and in our mission at school. I'm also loving being able to have church at home, to worship with our Timberline teams and to be encouraged by Benji and Marlon. And I like that I don't have the pressure to get up at a certain time, to get dressed up or even out of pajamas at all. And I am really loving the freedom that we have to stop the videos and talk as a family. That's been a real blessing in our family. We've had some great discussions. Best of all, I feel like the slower pace of life has just given me more time to pray, to study my Bible, and just draw closer to God. Now, don't get me wrong. I know that this is not really a vacation, and I know that there is sickness and suffering. There's death. A friend of ours actually passed away this week from COVID. There's grief, income loss, despair. And because of that, my prayer list has been growing each day. One thing that I've been asking God about often is how can I minister to others during this time? Since I am in a good place spiritually, how can I help those who aren't? Or reach out to those who need the hope of the gospel, all while social distancing? Now, for me, social media has been one answer, as well as writing cards of encouragement to people. And then when Marlon asked me to share something for the church, I kind of balked at that at first, but then I felt that perhaps this was another answer to that prayer. So I wasn't sure exactly what I was going to share for this interview, but the service last Sunday kind of cinched it for me. First of all, I'm so happy that we're studying the Psalms again. I love that the faithful psalm writers were also real people who struggled with despair, depression, and uncertainty too. And yet they knew how to turn to God, how to make Him their refuge, and how to stay safe in His shadow and fully put their trust in Him. So last Sunday when Marlon asked us to pause the video and describe what meaningful praise looks like and sounds like to us, my family and I had a great discussion. And I think that is what I'm supposed to share with you today. So among the things mentioned in my family were music, of course, and song. I feel that music truly affects the soul more than just mere words, and it helps us to connect to God on a deeper level. For me, when I'm singing or playing music, all else fades, and I feel like I am just standing before the throne of God, and it's just such a comfort to be able to use music, that gift of music, to worship and connect with Him. Also, we mentioned giving thanks and having a grateful heart. I try to start out my day by typing my prayers because it helps me to focus, and I always begin listing all the things that I was thankful for from the day before. Now, this is a habit that did take some time to develop, but now that it is ingrained, it truly makes a difference in my perspective each day. Now, along those lines, typing my prayers, I went through many years as an immature Christian. I was motivated more by guilt and a works mentality, and I didn't really have a solid relationship with Jesus because I struggled with communication. I wasn't sure how to pray, what to say. I had trouble staying focused and making time to pray. And then when I finally allowed His love to break through, I realized that He accepted me as I was, and He wired me to be more of a writer than a talker. And He was okay with that. And so I made an effort to start typing my prayers every morning about 10 years ago, and it has become a wonderful way to commune with Him. I also saved them all in an electronic journal so that I can remember the things God has done, as the Bible tells us to do in Psalm 77:11. It says, "I shall remember the deeds of the Lord. Surely I will remember your wonders of old. I will meditate on all your work and muse on your deeds." And keeping a record of my prayers is one way to do that. Now, my girls all said that meaningful praise for them often happens when they're out in his creation, observing nature. And the Psalms are filled with references to his creation and the majesty of it. Now, Rachel's favorite verse, Romans 1:20, reminds us that his invisible attributes, his eternal power, his divine nature can all be seen in creation around us. No matter what is happening with COVID, the economy, the government, creation still displays his power and attributes. With the slowed down pace of life right now, there are so many opportunities to get outside and find some solace just by observing his creation and unchanging qualities. Dan said that he finds meaningful praise as he works and as he does the things that God wired him to do. He enjoys being productive in his job and also creating things artistically. He knows that as he's doing those things with the talents and abilities God has given him, it brings praise to God. So I guess my encouragement to Timberline would be, find whatever meaningful praise is for you and practice it. Make it a habit. As we praise him each day, we are truly resting in his shadow, and there's no better place to be. I was going to stop there, but yesterday, the verse of the day on my Bible app was from Psalm 56, those good old Psalms again, and it was the simple statement that Christians have been referring to a lot lately. When I am afraid, I will put my trust in you. I broke this down a little bit for myself. When I am afraid, which means not if, when. I will be afraid at times, and God knows that. He understands that's part of our human condition. So when I am afraid, I will put my trust, which means I must take action. I need to will it. I need to decide to put my trust in you. And that is in God alone, not in my own flesh, not in someone or something else, but in God. So I want to encourage you to rest in his shadow, find ways to make a habit of expressing meaningful praise to God each day, and remember to choose to trust him when you are afraid.